What's up, everyone? This is Cronus, aka Adam, back with another WWE Week In review. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. I'm actually trying to get the audio portion of this started up on a podcast. Hopefully, I can get that done. I'm kind of just winging it here, even though it's episode 85. So, still evolving, still learning. So as always with my WWE reviews, as always with my AEW reviews, which I just finished and should post it, and a link should be at the end of here. I go over everything that happened this week in programming on WWE. That's Raw, NXT, Smackdown. Give my thoughts, and always give my match of the week at the end. So it's a pretty big week. Obviously, the second night of the draft, the season premiere of Raw. Obviously, some big things happened on NXT. So just going to jump right in, as always. I'm going to start with Raw. So we have the second night of the draft. So we get Randy Orton is out to the ring. He admits 2020 has been the year of Drew. Apparently Drew hadn't been pinned in almost a year as of last Monday when Randy pinned him. I guess obviously they just want to create some kind of justification for him getting yet another match. Not just the fact that he's Randy Orton, because yes, he can say that, but to us, we're all like, all right, how long is this going to go for? Sorry, guys. Someone is asking me weird questions. Drew's music hits as Randy goes for his catchphrase, the three most devastating letters, blah, blah, blah. Drew has a blue shirt on, but he's on Raw. I guess that's just Claymore Country shirt. Just thought that was funny. The Kick It Clash was for everyone, but at Hell in a Cell, this is going to be all for him. He said he was going to keep his promise of kicking the crap out of Randy every time he saw him. They brawl. Randy takes a beating, but able to run away. We then get the first round of night 2 of the draft. Stephanie is up to the podium. Raw's first pick is The Fiend. So The Fiend is now moving over from SmackDown to Raw. I think that's the good idea because obviously The Fiend was not going to be going anywhere with Roman right now. And other than that, there really was nothing else for The Fiend to do. So moving over to Raw, smart move. SmackDown's first pick, Bayley, makes sense. The second pick for Raw, Orton, he's staying on. Then we get the second pick by SmackDown is the Street Profits. So as always, as what happened last week, the New Day, who had won the Tag Team Championships on SmackDown, were picked by Raw. The Raw Tag Team Champions have now been picked by SmackDown. We'll get more into that a little later. And Raw's third pick, Charlotte Flair, who's been MIA for a while now. I know that there was a lot of rumors swirling. Was she injured? Did she have elective surgery? Did she just want some time off? Yeah, she was supposed to be back sooner. Then now she's back, maybe not back till next year. She's even weighed in on it on Twitter. I don't know. Either way, Charlotte Flair is one of the greatest female wrestlers they have. I like the time off. I just wish that her and Becky weren't off and they were doing some better storylines with the women, because besides Sasha and Bayley, and then with Asuka sprinkled in, there hasn't been really much besides putting Lana through a table every week, which happens again. So then we get a no DQ match, KO versus Aleister Black. Black was for the Black Mass Stunner attempt. Both don't hit. Black is set into the barricade. KO with the Cannonball Senton. KO attempts to jump off the barricade, but Black slams him onto the commentary desk, but it doesn't break. These commentary desks have not been breaking, so people have just been taking stiff back bumps on them. So KO is selling his back. He's tripped face first onto a chair in the ring for a 2 count. KO chair shots, then DDT on the chairs for a 2 count. Black hits this Meteora. So what happened was KO had set up 4 chairs facing each other, connecting, and then hoisted on his own petard. Black hits a Meteora from the top through the chairs, which looked rough. But it was a great spot. I thought that could have been the ending right there. Black misses Black Mass. Kicks the turnbuckle. So he's selling the leg injury. Back in the ring, KO hits a stunner and then a powerbomb through the table for the win. So I don't know, is this the blow off or is this what? I'm not really sure. Well, at that point, I'm not really sure. I already know where it's going. So we'll get into that. So we get round 2. Stephanie back up to the podium. Raw's 4th pick, Braun Strowman. That makes sense because he was back there on Raw Underground. Rest in peace, Raw Underground. I'm seeing a lot of word that they haven't been on in the last 2 weeks, and I think it's actually going to be scrapped, partially because of COVID outbreak and the risk to wrestlers and talent that are not even really doing anything but just standing around. So to limit the amount of people that are there, they're doing that, and also because it just really hasn't caught on. So Braun Strowman's going to go there. SmackDown's 3rd pick, Daniel Bryan. He's staying put, but he hasn't been seen until until Friday. Raw 5th pick, Matt Riddle. So he's moving from SmackDown to Raw. It's a good change, and obviously because of his issues with Seth Rollins. I'm not going to get into it. You can look online and find that kind of stuff out, some behind the scenes stuff. But they pretty much botched Riddle, as they have pretty much everyone. Aleister Black, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee. These guys were absolute just titans of NXT, and now they've been reduced to just nothing. They're just not really as exciting anymore. In ring, they're great, but everything else, nobody really cares. SmackDown's 4th pick, Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens is moving. He just had his match against Aleister Black, winning that, and now he's going back over to SmackDown. So we'll see what ends up happening there. We've obviously since then we've seen him post some pictures of him and Sami Zayn. So we'll see. He did have that fight with the Fiend. Will that change him? How will it change him? And Raw's 6th pick in the final of round 2, Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy moves back over. He's pretty much done everything he can do there. He had his Intercontinental title run. His Intercontinental title run. He's not going to fight Roman in the sense that he's going to get into a program with Roman for the Universal title. So moving him back over to Raw, smart move. We get Miz TV. So they make jokes about the team splitting up, which a lot of teams have split up. Mandy and Dana are their guests. Miz doesn't want Mandy to thank him. You look and you're winning. You look good and you're winning, I guess, is what he said. I can't remember my notes here. It's awkward to be in the Battle Royal together, but obviously there's no jealousy there. They just, it's every woman for themselves. It's for a shot, the main title, not a tag team title. Natalia's music hits. Why is Miz interviewing those blondes when they should be interviewing these blondes? What's her name? Lana makes some crack about having 2 husbands and an ex-girlfriend and wants to spill all the tea. Brawl breaks out. Mandy and Dana stand tall. They come back from commercial. They're still in the ring, Miz and Morrison. So Morrison is his next guest. Lars Sullivan's music hits. Miz bails. Lars destroys Morrison. Miz fakes trying to pull Morrison out, but doesn't work. Morrison just takes an absolute beating. So you're going to recap of New Day, Pierce with the New Day and Street Profits backstage. They do a simple title exchange. I thought this was pretty lame. They just handed each other the titles. I didn't expect them to face each other, but I would have liked something a little more creative. It's just like you got drafted here, you got drafted here, and just switch the titles. Now you're still champs. I don't know how I feel about that. Would have been interesting if they stripped them of the titles and then they had to win them back. That would have been interesting. Rude and Dolph mad because New Day are running. New Day accept the challenge. Even though it's like they're going to SmackDown, so it's like, so now what? We already know that New Day isn't losing, so it just makes no sense. Round 3, Stephanie back up to the podium. Raw 7th pick is Retribution. Why? First off, there's no Mercedes Martinez in the graphics, so that's interesting. But they literally said they wanted to destroy WWE and then specifically Raw. So why draft them? Bueller? No justification. No understanding. Okay. SmackDown 5th pick, Lars Sullivan. So Lars Sullivan is going to be staying on SmackDown. I don't know, staying. He wasn't really on anything specific. So he's going to SmackDown. Raw, 8th pick, keeping Keith Lee. Let's see what they do. Braun's now over there, so they're going to probably have one of those programs for the next 2 months. SmackDown 6th pick, keeping Corbin. All right. Raw's ninth pick, Alexa Bliss. This now makes sense because she is now aligned with the Fiend, and yeah, so I mean they're gonna keep that storyline going, which they do. So we get farewell from Seth because he's now been drafted by SmackDown. So they're losing the greatest leader in Raw history. Is there anyone that could fill the void? He leaves. He doesn't think so. Hardy's music hits. He should be concerned with his match on SmackDown with Lars Sullivan. Apparently, Seth Rollins knows the matches before Jeff Hardy does. So as Seth leaves, AJ's music hits. They pass each other on the ramp. He says, which is great, he tells Seth to get the step in. This was never Monday Night Rollins anyways. And Seth's face and his look is just like, the fuck? So he starts following AJ down the ramp, kind of shoves him and says, what the hell you mean by that? They start arguing. Hardy takes them both out. Then Hardy challenges them to a tag team triple threat match. And it's like, I think you've done too many of those, Jeff. They're kind of on your mind, but no, it's just a regular triple threat, not a tag team match. So we had a triple threat, Hardy, Seth, AJ. This is a fantastic match. So Tom recounts all of Joe's issues with each of them, which I thought was pretty funny. It's like, you threaten AJ's family, you try to destroy Seth, you kind of try to bring out, destroy Hardy's sobriety. I just thought this was really funny. Seth and AJ team up on Hardy until AJ goes after Seth and Ushigoroshi for a 2 count. Sling Blade super kick to AJ, dive to Hardy. We get a Scorpion Death Drop by AJ on Hardy for a 2 count. We get a Falcon Arrow by Seth on AJ for a 2 count. I'm skipping around here. I mean, in chronological order, but I'm just skipping some of my notes because I got a lot to do. AJ with the Calf Crusher on Seth. Hardy with the Swanton on Seth. AJ pushes for the pin, but Seth kicks out. We get a Twist of Fate on AJ. Elias then shows up, hits Hardy with the guitar, and then AJ for the win. As he's going up the ramp, he says, I didn't forget. So obviously this calls back to when Elias was taken out by a mystery redheaded person, supposedly Sheamus, but the car, and then Hardy was blamed for it at first. So this is going to be interesting to see whether, we'll get to it, Elias. Round 4. So Raw's 10th pick is Elias. So with his feud with Hardy, obviously they're going to continue that. SmackDown 7th pick, keeping the Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. Raw's 11th pick, Lacey Evans, Yawn. SmackDown 8th pick, Cesaro and Shinsuke, both great individually and a tag team because they need tag teams. And then Raw's 12th pick is Sheamus. So he's moving from SmackDown to Raw, which is good. I think also that does mean that maybe he's going to get involved in the Jeff Hardy Elias thing. I hope not. But he at least presents another title contender for Drew, which is good. Mandy and Dana versus Lana and Natalya. So they have this match that was out of what happened on Miz TV, even though all 4 of them will be in the Battle Royal as well. So we get a flying head scissors by Dana and Natalya. Dana takes heat for a while. Mandy hot tag. Unnecessary assisted swanton on Lana for the win. I just didn't like this move. I know some people thought it was cool. I just thought it was too long to set up. Dana could easily just go to the top rope, do her swanton from the top, which actually I think is a little higher than standing on Mandy's shoulders, and just takes less time to get together. So, but they take the win. Natalya is pissed off at Lana, saying, this isn't working. What are you, stupid? And leaves Lana crying in the middle of the ring. So it looks like they've now broken up because Natalya is like, I'm done. Hurt Business, talking about Retribution not there to catch a beating. They look fresh, though, in those suits. So Ricochet said he's there for one last match. He's retiring this beef. He says if he wins, they go their separate ways. If he loses, he joins the Hurt Business. And he says, I'll take on any one of you. But obviously they decide to choose Cedric to be the one to do it. Angel Garza versus Andrade. Selena's will be on commentary. Slaps by Andrade are just nasty. Angel has his left leg taped after the injury he sustained 2 weeks ago, I believe. So we get Andrade dominating the match. Selena goes... so then Angel eventually hits the wing clipper for the win. This is a quick match. I don't understand the concept of this. So, because obviously this makes Andrade look kind of weak. Angel Garza, with an injury, still able to beat him. Andrade was the one who called out both Zelina and Garza and wanted to go on his own, yet Zelina goes in to help Andrade. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. There are rumors that Andrade might be going to NXT. That would be interesting. I'd like to see that because I think right now they just never really understood what to do with him. The lights go out. The lights come back up, and Alexa Bliss and The Fiend are in the ring doing the kind of bending over in the corner. They then hit dual Sister Abigail's on Andrade and Zelina. I still just don't understand why Zelina was helping. But I don't know if this is going to be some kind of thing here with the four of them, or if this is just, cementing the introduction of Bliss and Fiend on Raw. Round 5, we get Raw's 13th pick, Nikki Cross. I assume she's going to end up feuding with Alexa now. That looks like Alexa is fully Fiend mode at this point. Smackdown, Dolph and Rude. So at that point, we didn't know where Dolph and Rude were going. Now we do, but now it's just like, okay. So now we know definitely they're not winning. Raw's 14th pick, R-Truth. Okay. SmackDown 10th pick, Apollo Crews. So he's moving from Raw to SmackDown. Finally, a match without a member of the Hurt Business that has gone on for almost 6 months now. Unfortunately for Apollo, I feel like this just means he's going to be back to catering. I don't see him getting involved in anything there. Maybe with Sami Zayn for a first spell, but I think that's about it. And Raw's 15th pick, Daba Kato. So it looks like Daba Kato is going to actually get into the mix and not just be Raw Underground's heavy, even though he got his ass knocked out by Braun Strowman the last time that they fought. With the Raw Tag Team title match. Let me just see where we're at. Damn. Raw Tag Team titles. New Day versus Dolph and Rude. We get a gorilla press by Woods on Dolph. Deep DDT by Dolph for a 2 count. Honor roll countered into a spine buster for a 2 count. Blind tag to Kofi. They end up hitting the midnight hour on Rude for the win, as we predicted. We had Elias backstage. Everyone has forgiven Hardy, but he hasn't. He doesn't believe it's a mystery man. He'll have a concert next week, so that's interesting. And then we get Cedric versus Ricochet. They're working real stiff. But this is just such a good match. Cedric takes advantage. Sorry, there's someone with a motorcycle outside. MVP calls out to slap Ricochet. We get a half Nelson suplex by Ricochet. Michinoku driver for a 2 count. Cedric hits the ref on the kick out. Immediately, as soon as the ref gets hit, MVP slides the chair in. Ricochet gets the chair, tosses it to Cedric after he hits the ground, and does his which is hysterical. Hits the ground. The ref sees it. DQ win. This might have been my favorite Ricochet moment since he's been in the WWE. Since he's been to main roster so far. Recap of Braun and Lee from last week. They have a match next week, apparently. So great. Round 6. Raw's 16th pick, Titus O'Neil. Snore. I think he's had, 2 matches in the last 8 months. Raw's SmackDown's 11th pick, Carmella. Shocker. She's never gone anywhere else. Raw's 17th pick, Peyton Royce. Okay. SmackDown 12th pick, Aleister Black. So basically, a lot of this was just moving feuds from one show to the other. Okay. 18th pick by Raw, Akira Tozawa. And it says in his lower third, leader of a ninja clan. I just thought that was funny. So we get the dual brand women's battle royal for the number 1 contender for Asuka as our main event. So Asuka's on commentary. We get Nia, Shayna, Peyton, Mandy, Dana, Lacey, Liv, Ruby, Nikki, Lana, Natalya, Billy, Tamina, and Bianca. So Nia gives a promo. Shayna is going to win, but most likely her. I really hate this guy with the thing. It's really annoying. Really apologize for this. So we get Nia and Tamina standoff. They fake an alliance, and then Tamina is eliminated by Nia. Nia eliminates Billy. Nia eliminates Mandy and Dana, helping Shayna. Shayna helps everyone eliminate Nia, though, which I thought was pretty funny. She's like, hey, it's for the belt. So then, while that's going on, Nia's really pissed off. Lana is on the outside. So Shayna directs Nia's attention to Lana. She gets Samoan drop through the table again. So Shayna hopes that kind of satiates Nia's anger for the while. Randy and Drew are fighting in the back while this is going on. Lacey eliminates Nikki with a woman's right. Peyton eliminated by Natalya during the break. Bianca eliminates Shayna. Riot Squad work to eliminate Bianca. Riot Squad eliminated at the same time by Natalya and Lacey. They look like idiots though. They kind of did dueling banditas and then just get punched in the face and fall off. It didn't look good. Asuka has now left commentary at some point and watching backstage from the side as always. Okay, they're gone. Lacey caught trying to Rana. She swung into the post, dong, hits the floor. So then Natalya thinks she wins. She starts to celebrate, but oh no. Lana was never eliminated. Comes in, kicks Natalya off the apron. She wins. So Lana will now face Asuka. Nobody cares because we all know what's going to happen. But maybe this is just like, hey, sorry, we put you through a table 17 times in a row. I don't know. Drew and Randy are now fighting from the back to ringside. Everything is broken up by the refs and staff. It's always good to see Devon Dudley. There was scheduled to be, just so you know, there was also scheduled to be talk from Retribution and Ali. But he never showed, and it was never even acknowledged, so that was interesting. So that is Raw. That was a lot. Wow, 20 minutes for Raw. That was a lot. I'm going to try to speed through the rest. So now we go to NXT. We get a number one contender for the tag title that was set up 2 weeks ago with the match with Roderick and Danny Burch versus someone from Imperium. Was it not Bartel? Eichner and from LDF. Raul Mendoza. Thank you. I knew I'd remember eventually. So Kyle O'Reilly's out with Fish and Strong. No Cole. Kyle's on the mic. He'll be cleared next week. Cole still has broken ribs. And if you hear that hissing in the back, that's the heater because the apartment is the weather outside is starting to get colder out. They would have put Ridge in the hospital and they're going to find out who's responsible. So I started watching NXT around 2018, and one of the first matches I saw was Undisputed Era versus Burch and Lorcan, and it's still one of my favorite tag matches of all time. This put Burch and Lorcan on the map. Lorcan actually shattered his orbital bone or something in this match. It was just wild. It was such a good match. Really put them on the map. So we get Roddy suplexed onto Fish. Burch and Lorcan maintain control. Fandango is watching from a perch. Undisputed Era is controlled during picture-in-picture. We get Burch with the hot tag. Double blockbuster by Lorcan. Double submission by Burch and Lorcan. Assisted DDT on Strong. Fish breaks up the pin. Lorcan sent into Burch. Leaping knee by Strong into the face for the win. So they are the number one contenders for the tag team titles, obviously, because it's Undisputed Era. Medical update on Balor. He needed surgery. They're going to give it a few weeks before making a decision on the title. Ember video package. Being away. I gotta get a glass of water. Timeout. Apologies. And I'm back. Sorry about that, everyone. Tickling back in the throat. So she was away. She knew she was going to be NXT, not main roster, which is the smartest move. Ashante Adonis versus Atlas. Botchy entrance by Adonis, kind of tripped on the ropes. LDF is in to distract Adonis. Atlas with a small package victory. LDF attacks Adonis. Atlas takes them out. Santos then is really good framing because you see Mendoza and Wild on the ground, and then comes into frame the legs of Santos. It pans up. He's looking fresh. They start to go toward the ring. Swerve then comes from behind, brings in chairs. They all have chairs, so obviously Legado del Fantasma is like, nah, we're good. Backstage interview with the Garganos. Candice against Shotzi tonight for number one contender. What was Loomis? What is Loomis done for a title shot? He kidnapped the guy, and that's it. So that was kind of funny. Theory's big mouth got him in trouble though, so obviously Johnny has a match with Theory. So that is next. Gargano's outmatching him on the mat. Theory's not taking advantage of his power to start. I'm just going to cut toward the end. We get a super kick, cross leg, Ushigoroshi by Theory for a 2 count. Some great near falls for Theory. Super kick, long dart into the turnbuckle by Johnny Gargano. Ends up hitting the one final beat for the win. So there's that. Backstage Raquel promo calling out Rhea for Halloween Havoc. Rhea's actually there, but they need to be separated. Champ is watching highlights of last week, says he's dead now. I'm assuming it's, it could be Kushida, it could be Dream, could be both, who knows. Number one contender for the women's title at Halloween Havoc, Candice versus Shotzi. This is a fantastic match. There's a lot in here. What ends up happening, though, is toward the end we get cattle mutilation by Shotzi. Candice gets to the ropes. Avalanche, seated senton. Candice rolls out to avoid. And then she goes up against the barricade, and all of a sudden you see Indy Hartwell shows up, hands Candice brass knuckles. She knocks out Shotzi for the win, hands them back to Indy Hartwell so she doesn't get seen with them. So now Candice is the number one contender again. Drake and Dane backstage. Drake went to a marketing company to brand them. Dane is pissed off because he doesn't like being called it's the Fury and the Furry. And then he's also pissed that they have a match with Imperium tonight. Toni Storm versus Aaliyah. Stone saying no one wants to join the brand. That's on them. New music for Storm. I like the entrance with all the different camera angles. I thought that was cool. Aaliyah with some really nice offense. More than I figured against Tony's re-debut. But eventually, Tony hits Storm 0 for the win. So we get backstage with Regal. He's not happy with the Candice match. He'll up the stakes in that match, but he doesn't know what will happen yet. Also says Raquel and Rhea will face each other at Halloween Havoc. Xia Li and Boa show up. Xia says she really needs a match. Says it several times. He says, I will take it under advisement. So this is interesting. I really want to know what this is. This is going to be some kind of Chinese triad. She's indebted to them and has to, I don't know what it could be. But it's interesting. And I like that they're doing something with her. And Boa hasn't really done anything, I think, since the breakout tournament. Maybe one other match that I can remember. We get Imperium versus Drake and Dane. Imperium still not back at NXT UK. I don't know if that's because of travel reasons or because they still just want them here. Dane cuts the music off again. Doesn't even give Drake the chance to dance with the whistles. Dane tosses Drake onto Eichner. Spinebuster PK combo on Dane. European bomb by Drake on Drake for the win. They knocked Dane away. Everrise comes in and they start attacking Drake. Dane takes them out. Says, you know what, nobody hits you but me. Their music hits. He's pissed off. And Drake is actually obviously very happy even though they did lose to Imperium. So, they're still getting their legs under them. And then we get our main event, the North American title, Priest versus Loomis. Priest is focusing on the left arm of Loomis. Fez press. We get a fight to the outside during picture-in-picture. We get a big spine buster by Loomis for a 2 count. Diving flatline by Priest for a 2 count. We get the ankle lock on the injured ankle, which was smart. I think Loomis cursed because it sounded like he got bleeped out. Kip up, then a leg drop by Loomis, which looked really cool, like in one fluid motion. He misses the top rope senton. We get a side effect, and then the Anaconda Vice, but Priest gets to the ropes. I mean, he's like 6'6", I think. Grimes, when the ref is turned, hits a cave-in on the apron on Loomis, and Priest doesn't even see it. He does his South of Heaven, which is like the sit-out choke slam for the win. Grimes gets into the ring and starts talking shit to Loomis. Priest sees it, goes back into the ring, hits a reckoning on Grimes, and then tells the cameraman to follow him up the ramp. He's about to do some kind of thing with the Tron, with his, shooting the arrow. Gargano comes out, hits him with the chair shot, super kicked with the chair, and then Candice is there to celebrate. Regal appears behind them, says, I hope you're happy, because, we're going to up the stakes, and I'm going to let the host of Havoc tell you. And so Shotzi appears and says the matches will be determined by spin the wheel, make the deal. So spin the wheel, make the deal is what's going to happen now. very interesting. So there are a bunch of different matches on there. Tables, ladder, and scares. I think was one of them. I forgot the others, but that's going to be very interesting because I haven't seen that in a long, long time. So that's everything from NXT. Let's see where we're at here. Not too bad. Okay, so we get the season premiere of Smackdown, but half the people wrestling are being moved to Raw, or on Raw. So, okay. Also, not a single women's match. Seems a little interesting that they wouldn't. I mean, they had a contract signing for Bayley and Sasha, and that's about it. They put over people. No match. So we get the SmackDown roster on the ramp with Stephanie and Triple H in the ring. I mean, they're giving like this really corny rundown, basically of the match card, which, I mean, for most people you've already heard or seen it online. A brawl breaks out. Lars eventually comes out. Sammy bails. He beats up a bunch of people. Hardy gets a cheap shot in. That match is next. Lars vs. Hardy. Jeff Jarrett's in the Thunderdome. Apparently he'll be on the Hell in a Cell pre-show, I think they said. Lars in control. Lars misses a diving headbutt. Another shitty whisper in the wind. Barely connects with a kick out at one. Stop doing it. It's not a good move. You barely hit it, and when you do, it doesn't even look that great. I mean, just stop. So we had a twist of fate. Lars gets up, freak accident for the win. I mean, this is almost a borderline squash match at this point. I mean, Hardy barely got any offense in as it was. So, you know, and Hardy's going to Raw anyway. So fine. There you go. So we get the farewell match. New Day versus Cesaro, Shinsuke, and Sheamus. We get a New Day promo. The draft is stronger than the power of positivity. This was really emotional. It's emotional in some ways. Obviously, I know people are like, you know, they're still in the same building. They still do a podcast together. It's not like, but eventually those, you know, it's just the cohesion of them together as a unit on TV in the ring together. You know, it's no more, or at least for now. So they interview the opponents. Typical heel promo that they, you know, they're going to be happy to be the ones to stop, you know, beat them up on their farewell, whatever. New Day is hilarious, bouncing off the ropes during Shinsuke's music. Like, what's his name? Big E is like hanging on the middle rope with his legs spread. It was just really funny. New Day looking fresh, no ring rust. Even though Corey was like, "Oh, there's probably ring rust," but it's like they just won the tag team titles literally last week. So what are you talking about ring rust? It's not like it's their first match back. So we get the bar call out, which I thought was cool. You know, Kofi triple teamed on the outside. We get an SOS by Cody because he was taking heat for a while on Sheamus. Hot take to Big E. Cesaro with a massive gut wrench on Big E. Uranagi backstabber on Cesaro for a 2 count. We get the swing Kinshasa and then into a white noise, but it's broken up. Everyone's getting their moves in, you know, just one after another. Sheamus gets posting. They hit the midnight hour on him for the win. It was an emotional ending. They obviously had the mics there saying, you know, that I love you, you know, we're still going to be together, don't worry about this, all this kind of stuff. But it was definitely very emotional, especially Woods. He's definitely the one with the waterworks. Backstage interview with Otis. Sammy crashes, so he'll speak for Otis. He's a winner. Otis is a loser. Otis just shoves him over, and that's pretty much it. So I mean, I don't know what they're doing here with Otis with his Money in the Bank case. He literally has no Mandy, has no heavy machinery. Miz and Morrison aren't there to try and take away the case from him. He's not going to be getting it from Roman anytime soon. What's he doing? Would it be interesting if they somehow allowed him to not challenge for the main title, the Universal title, and then instead use it to take on Sammy for the Intercontinental title? I think that would be smart. I think that's what they should be doing. So, yeah. I think that's what they should be doing. Anyway. Daniel Bryan, first time in the Thunderdome. He's in street clothes, so it doesn't look like he's going to have a match. Bree's in the Thunderdome on the screen. Now he's giving us the card rundown as well. He's also going over the roster, but he highlights Bianca Belair. We get a nice little video package. Seth music hits, says, "Oh, you didn't mention me. And what side of history are you going to be on?" Basically, Daniel Bryan just says your vision is short-sighted and just dumb, stupid. Seth tries to attack him. Bryan gets the upper hand. Mysterio's music hits. Ray and Dom come out. And then, what's his name? Seth thinks that Bryan is going to team up with him against the Mysterios. And Bryan's like, bitch, I'm out. Have fun. So then Murphy comes out, sprinting, slides into the ring on the on the side of Seth. And so at first Seth thinks that Murphy's going to help him out. Murphy turns the table, starts attacking Seth. Seth is able to run off. Murphy then extends his hand to Ray and Dom. Neither of them shake his hand. They do not trust him. They leave, which is understandable. So maybe this is something that Murphy has to earn. Either that or they're, pulling the wool over. So we'll see. Smackdown. But as always, they're still keeping this, feud going. We were hoping that, the move to Smackdown would separate them. It wasn't. Just like Aleister Black, Kevin Owens, and a couple others, these feuds are now just being moved to a different show. Sasha and Bayley contract signing. Pierce is running it. Bayley says she's baggage, can't wait to get it over with. Bayley just beat her to the punch of turning on her. Sasha tried to help her every single time, and it's just like Sasha, you literally did everything to help Bayley win, but at the same time you were always looking like you were jealous. Every time that you had the Bayley's belt, when you were not a title holder at that moment, you held it like it was your own. Every time we saw on the ramp, you were just staring lasers into that belt because you wanted it. You helped Bayley win and cheat over and over again. You're just not going to get the same kind of satisfaction out of this from the fans that you might think. She was just as dastardly and just as heelish as Bayley, and I think Bayley's right. She beat her to the punch. Oops. Too bad. So sad. You snooze, you lose. Anyway, so Bayley leaves without signing. Sasha says one way or another you're signing. We then get to our main event, which is a Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. Makes no sense because Braun is going to Raw, and there's been no setup for this. If anything, this made Braun look like an absolute chump. Superman punch sends Braun to the floor, does the drive-by. Jay's watching backstage, obviously from the side. Roman in control but can't put Braun away. Roman tossed over the announce table. Braun sends Roman over the barricade. Goldberg's in the Thunderdome. Braun with the Dominator, chokeslam for a 2 count. Roman with another kick out with the nut shot. He hits the spear, only gets a 2 count. Roman with a guillotine. Braun turning purple and then taps. So he used a guillotine on Braun Strowman and Braun Strowman tapped out. Jay comes out. Roman spears Braun again. Chair shots to Braun trying to call out Jay. Some more chair shots. Jay gets in the ring. He then kicks the chair over to Jay. Turns around, turns his back and says to hit him. Jay says he can't do it. Drops the chair. But then punches Roman. Super kicks him. And then starts hitting the chair shot and says, "You love me? Well, I love you." And then obviously everyone comes to the ring. They all break it up. The refs, the staff. But then gives Roman an opportunity to recover and hit a Superman punch on Jay because he's the one being held back, not Roman. Makes no sense. And then Roman leaves. So that is the end of SmackDown. I'm trying to think here. So, I think I forgot to give my match of the week on my AEW review. Oh well. As always, I give my match of the week. I think it's going to be the farewell match. I think it went a little long, but just the emotion of it. I mean, I thought the match itself was really, really good. Obviously, everyone was getting their stuff in. I really thought that, it just shows how good the New Day is. Obviously, they did have, they were both off as far as Kofi and Woods were out for an extended period of time. They look good, though. I thought that Cesaro is just awesome. Sheamus looked great. Even Shinsuke. Everyone looked good. Everyone got their moves in. Nobody loses anything from this because this was all about the emotional impact of the New Day breaking up. Obviously, wishing everyone the best of luck. I like what they're doing with Big E. I hope they do something more of like a Kurt Angle where he's kind of a goofball outside, but in the ring, he's all business. And I hope this means good things for him. going forward. Obviously, the New Day have, the tag division on both shows is kind of lackluster at this point. So hopefully they have some fresh matchups and new teams and new stuff for the New Day there. And even you can give them some singles runs too. It doesn't mean that they have to be locked into just being a tag team. Kofi was a world champ. He could even challenge Drew. I think that would be really cool. So as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. Gonna try and work on getting that audio podcast done. And so as always, be safe, love each other, and bye now.